Good old Florida man at his finest. I mean, it's always in Florida, right? But one thing's throwing me off with this video is typically in Florida we don't see people use lines, and well, this crew decided to do so. Welcome back to this episode of Boneheaded Boaters of the Week. Towing a boat, taking it down to a boat ramp seems like it should be a simple exercise, and for many it actually is. But for some reason, there's a few out there who just seem to struggle in finding their way, finding the correct path for them to be able to tow their boat down to the boat ramp, get it launched without issue. I know it seems simple, but many people for some reason just find ways to make it more difficult. Now, I know everybody's got to start somewhere. Not everybody's born knowing how to tow a boat in a trailer. Go out, find a parking lot, especially for your first couple times, and get a little practice in maneuvering around, understanding what your truck and the trailer will do together, and trying to figure out the ins and outs, kind of like this crew. They're finished with their first day of boating and they're trying to figure out how to get the trailer off the truck. Now, practice does make perfect, but it's not the most important part of towing. The most important part that gets neglected probably is going to be proper trailer maintenance. I mean, the reality is if you don't have the experience in towing and you try and back down a ramp, you're probably eventually going to get it figured out. But if you don't maintain your trailer, the likelihood of you getting stranded on the side of the highway is significantly higher than the likelihood of you getting stranded at a boat ramp and not being able to figure out how to get your trailer back down. Now, you don't necessarily have to tow your vessel down to the water. Of course, there are plenty of other ways to do this. One, you could store your vessel in the water, but that does come with its own unique set of challenges. Then, of course, if the only thing that's really holding you back from getting a vessel is that thought of towing, the fear of having to deal with a trailer, you could always just eliminate that fear and find your own way of getting it done. Now, another nice little safety tip for those of you who plan on using the boat ramp is don't forget to lock and secure your vehicle before you go enjoy your day on the water. If not, you may find out that somebody's gotten into your truck or something's gotten into your truck, kind of like we see here when this crew got back from a day on the water and found, well, something had entered their cracked window. Now, of course, that's assuming that you have doors and windows to roll up and lock. Or you could be like this crew here, and this is probably one of the best plans. Go ahead and buy that waterfront property with your own private boat ramp. Then you don't have to worry about many of the headaches that we've already discussed. Yes, I know it's expensive, but you can take the same approach this crew did. Go ahead and sell that full-size truck, get rid of that car payment, take that extra money from the car payment, apply it toward your new mortgage on your waterfront house, and find a much cheaper way of getting your vessels entered into the water. Now, realistically, I know this is not an option for many of us. Waterfront property is extremely expensive and hard to come by, which is going to relegate most of us to using the public boat ramps. So the next piece of advice we'll give will go back to the public ramp, and that's going to be the first time you ever launch at a new boat ramp, before you go into your launching procedure and just back the trailer down, stop, park your vehicle, and go take a look at the ramp itself. You're gonna learn a lot by walking up and just putting your eyes on it versus just trying to back the trailer down immediately. There may be debris on the ramp, there might be debris in the water. The ramp itself may have a drop off at the end, meaning if you've got a bigger vessel, you need to use a little more caution. You should be able to tell by walking up as well if the ramp is extremely slick. If you see spots where the ramp is slick, you know you need to stop before those slick parts or possibly engage four-wheel drive before you even ever begin trying to back down. By doing this is going to give you an opportunity to really identify any situations or problems you may have before you actually get yourself into a situation you struggle getting out of. Kind of like this situation here. Our crew went ahead and backed down the ramp, but there was debris on the ramp, and now they're finding that it's extremely difficult to get their truck and trailer back off the ramp. This crew would have walked down and just took a little look beforehand, they probably would have seen the debris, which would have gave them an opportunity to do a few things. One, possibly clear the debris off the ramp to give themselves a free shot at trying to get the boat out like they're trying to do here. Or two, in the even better solution, they probably would have picked a different lane that didn't have any debris on it. But because they didn't look, they just started backing down. The next thing they knew, they found themselves in a situation like this. And of course, this always reminds me when we start talking about headaches and towing. Towing on land's not the only thing that you got to worry about when you're on the water. That's right, sometimes you're going to have to tow things on the water. My only piece of advice on this: go buy the tow insurance, because if you don't have tow insurance, you never know who's going to wind up having to try and tow you and whether they'll be properly equipped for the job or whether they are even capable of doing the job. Now, I'm not going to recommend an actual tow company to you. The reason being, they're all different and the service they offer on each body of water is different, so you're going to have to do your research and pick which one's best for you. For example, I picked the tow company that offered the best coverage in the Bahamas. Now, I don't spend most of my time boating in the Bahamas, but from an insurance perspective, I always knew that we'd go to the Bahamas Bahamas every year, and if I ever have to tow my vessel back from the Bahamas, it's probably going to be one of the highest cost items I'm going to have in a towing situation. So I picked a company that offered good service locally, but also had the best coverage if I ever have an incident over there. And speaking of the Bahamas, have you ever thought about taking your vessel to the Bahamas, but didn't know where to start? Well, we've got an opportunity for you. If you'll be at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show at the end of the month, we're actually hosting a seminar in collaboration with the Bahamas Tourism Ministry on how to take your boat to the Bahamas. And on top of that, we're also going to invite you to join us on a trip. So if you happen to be at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show on Friday, October 27th, we'll be at the Convention Center in the seminar area at 11 a.m. doing our presentation. And at the end of that presentation, as I mentioned, you'll have an opportunity to sign up and join us on our next Bahamas adventure. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Boneheaded Boaters of the Week. If you ever see anything crazy happening on your waterways, be sure to hit us up on Facebook or Instagram and let us know, and you might see your stories over here. Just like Angie Lunkmeyer, Brandon Lowry, Captain Scott T, Chad Fisher, Joseph VC, K Campbell 24, Casey Anderson, Mr. Rollo 4, Nathan Gustafson, Saltwater Charters LLC, and Zico 160 did this week. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.